Welcome back to another episode of 40 Facts About the 40K Universe. I am your host Gershwin and you are watching OneMindSyndicate. Today we continue talking about the Necrons as we get into Trazyn the Infinite. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. We post Warhammer 40K lore videos every single day. If you have any suggestions, comment down below. And if you enjoy our content, thank our patrons on Patreon. It's because of them that we can do this. Link in the description if you guys want to support us. But with that said, let's get into 40 facts on Trazyn the Infinite. Trazyn the Infinite is a Necron overlord and a self-proclaimed archaeovist of the Solomon's Galleries on the Necron tomb world of Solomon's. Trazyn is a preserver of histories, artifacts, and events, and often steals what he wants from other alien races, or even his own fellow Necrons, so that the treasures may be preserved in his galleries forever. Little is known of his past. All that is known is that he wages war in order to maintain and expand his collection, often disregarding strategic and tactical considerations in order to do so. His vast and numberless vaults burrowed through the tomb world of Solomon's are crowded with technology so rare and sublime that the Adeptus Mechanicus tech priest would give the life of several close colleagues just to know that they exist. The sunken chambers of the galleries are crowded with artifacts of all forms. It is a hoard ever growing, for history is always on the march, and Trazyn strives to keep pace. Alas, few worlds willingly give up the artifacts Trazyn seeks of them, selfishly clutching on to the few meaningful things of their civilization, rather than offering them up to be preserved through the ages. In such circumstances, Trazyn has little choice but to muster his armies and take them by force. If this results in the destruction of a city, a planet, or an entire sector of the galaxy, so be it. Most impressive of Solomon's wonders are the Prismatic Galleries, winding chambers of statuary, recapturing events from the galactic history that Trazyn deemed worthy of preservation, ranging on scales from the last High Council of the Ibari craft world to the sprawling massacres on Tragus. The Prismatic Galleries are populated not with mere sculptures, but living beings transmuted into hard light holograms by arcane technology. Some such statues are nothing less than the original enactors of history, frozen in that moment of triumph or defeat, and whisked away to Solomnus to forever stand as testaments of their deeds. Occasionally, a statue will be destroyed, shattered by a malfunctioning canoptic rate's collision, the collapse of a gallery ceiling, or as has happened on one catastrophic occasion, a firefight between Trazyn warrior servants and the entourage of an all-too-curious inquisitor, most of whom now constitute their own display in one of the upper galleries. They all have also led to unforeseen damage. Such events drive Trazyn to frustration, for he must halt his search for fresh acquisitions and seek out replacements. Of course, few of the statues are replaceable, but there are no rules to Trazyn's gallery, except those that he himself decides upon. Fully 1/10 of his Death of Lord Solar Macarius's gallery is populated by holographic Imperial Guardsmen, whose uniforms are 300 standard years astray from the historical fact. But Trazyn cares only for the spectacle, not the details of the bootlaces and the buttonholes. Once Trazyn has resolved to refresh his galleries, he does so with great urgency, seeking out campaigning armies, vulnerable garrisons, or populated worlds with flawed planetary defenses. Depending on the scale of losses, replenishment might be achieved by a few simple kidnappings by a low-flying night scythe, or may need a more substantial mobilization to process and catalog portions of the planetary population. Necron tomb worlds are not immune to Trazyn's attention. In his mind, other Necrons are no more trustworthy than aliens when it comes to guardianship of the artifacts he craves. Thus Trazyn makes little distinction between artifacts held on an alien world and those possessed by his own kin. The resulting indiscreet stealing has rendered him persona non grata on several tomb worlds. He is forbidden entry from the catacombs of Mandragora under pain of death, following a long attempt to spirit away the staff of the destroyer, and welcome on Mondeus has a strict understanding that his arrival will in some way improve the standing of the ruling Necrothise dynasty. These occurrences go some way to explain why Trazyn rarely travels under his own name, but with his true identity concealed by pseudonyms. Alas, while he fancies these names to be masterful attempts at deception, all are simply plucked from ancient Necron myth or fabled literature, such as Nemesis Koshkai and Thantek the Deathless. That Trazyn is rarely discovered before he is ready to make a move says more to the insular nature and selective knowledge of other Necron nobles than it does his own aptitude at sneaking around. Even on orc-held planets, Tau Sep worlds, and human colonies, where his dealings are conducted strictly through mind shackle cat paws, Trazyn goes to great pains to keep his identity a secret. He knows full well that his activities have come to the attention of certain rogue traders and inquisitors. After all, the Imperium's tangled history presents something of an irresistible lure to one such as Trazyn. Nonetheless, while he remains confident in his ability to outwit the plots and snares of primitive humans, Trazyn's paranoia is sufficient to force a degree of caution. He commonly conducts reconnaissance and campaigns through surrogates, substitute bodies in which he can pour his will. Should the body suffer catastrophic damage, Trazyn's essence simply returns to his true form, or otherwise into another surrogate. Not all of Trazyn's substitutes are immediately recognizable as such. Indeed, many surrogates are actually Necron Lords or Necron Overlords in their own right, who, unbeknownst to them, have had their bodies subverted by Trazyn. Should he need to occupy such a body, he can do so as easily as he could any other surrogate. The regular occupant's will is suppressed for the duration of Trazyn's occupation. The body itself instantly morphs into the exact copy of his primitive form. Thus protected from the dangers of a perilous galaxy, Trazyn can go wherever his passion for preservation takes him. Yet these days of caution and plotting are fast passing by. The din of war grows louder in every corner of the galaxy, consuming temples, cities, worlds, and even entire races, long before Trazyn has the opportunity to catalog and rescue all that is worth saving. Thus, for the first time in a million years, Trazyn is mobilizing the full might of Solomon's legions, the better to secure entire planets from the onset of ignorant barbarians, while a proper and detailed cultural survey is undertaken. Already a score of the Imperium's worlds are under occupation by Trazyn's forces, the inhabitants subjugated by his implacable minions, but the undying legions of Solomon's show no sign of stopping. Inside Trazyn's galleries can be found many relics belonging to one of the Necron's oldest enemies, the Eldar. He possesses the Wraithbone Choir of Eldar Craftworld Alatansar, the sister Craftworld of Craftworld Ulthway. Trazyn managed to collect this prize right before the whole Craftworld was absorbed into the Eye of Terror, after the birth of the Chaos God Slaanesh. Right next to this Eldari relic is a shrine that contains the world spirit of Karnak, a Necron tomb world that was settled by Eldar Exodites during the Necron's long sleep. Thousands, if not millions of Eldar souls remain trapped within this world spirit that now serves as an example of a Necron's ability to destroy any race that dares settles in their land. Of the Imperium, Trazyn collected several regiments of the Catachan Jungle Fighters, one of the Imperium's most resilient human fighting forces. They were taken during the Acabrius War. He even managed to get the lost regiments of Tanith before the Chaos Fleet struck the planet. This kidnapping would cause the formation of the Tanith First and Only. And lastly, in his gallery, he has several regiments of Volstrayan Firstborns, including the 21st Volstrayan Regiment. Another one of Trazyn's most prized possessions is the frozen body of Brother Kasael of the Blood Angel Space Marine chapter. This giant of a man, even for Space Marine standards, had been second to the Death Watch, where he encountered an evil so frightening it made the stoic Astartes scream in fear. His perpetual frozen face showcases the exact moment of this fear. The gallery showcases many Xeno bodies, ranging from Rakghoul to orcs, but the most intriguing piece is the ossified husk of an enslaver, the very creatures that drove the Old Ones out of the galaxy and won the Necron the war in heaven. Next to that, he has the preserved head of Ecclesiarch Sebastian Thor, the man responsible for ending the Imperium's reign of blood and reshaping the Imperium of Man forever. Trazyn does not always have complete control of what he holds in his gallery. He has a device containing the entire Hive Fleet that launched the Tyranid invasion of the world of Vuros, which Trazyn himself had sparked in an effort to add a Tyranid exhibit to his collection. Trazyn found himself forced to abandon this particular exhibit after his legions were forced to engage in several full-scale battles with the Tyranids, when portions of the exhibit managed to escape. Not all of the pieces from Trazyn's collection are trapped forever. Lieutenant Commander Cervantes of the Ultramarines Legion his battle brothers, and several Contemptor pattern dreadnoughts collected during the Horus Heresy managed to gain their freedom, fight, and give their lives during the 13th Black Crusade at the Battle of the Elysian Fields. During that same battle, the Puritan Inquisitor Caterina Greyfox of the Ordo Hereticus and her bodyguard of Tempestus Scions, drawn from the 55th Copic Eagles, were freed by Trazyn. As much as she wished, she was not able to harm Trazyn during the battle due to mind shackle scarabs. She survived the fall of Cadia and went on to become a major participant in events such as the Ultramar campaign, the Terran Crusade, and eventually the Indomitus Crusade, serving as a loyal commander for the resurrected Lord Commander of the Imperium, the Primarch Guilliman. Freedom is all the Lord Castellan of Cadia, Uzeric E. Creed, can hope for, as he was captured by Trazyn during the final moments before the fall of Cadia. He now stands next to an exhibit of a member of an Adeptus Custodi within the gallery. But of all of Trazyn's relics, the most impressive is a perfect clone of the Primarch Fulgrim, which he received in exchange for providing 18,000 samples of pure Emperor's Children gene seed in a deal with Fabius Bio. And those were 40 facts on the Overlord Trazyn the Infinite. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, share it with your friends and thank our patrons on Patreon. It's because of them that we can do this. Link in the description if you guys want to support us. It's $1 a month. Thank you ahead of time. Now let's announce the winners of the Mortarion giveaway. Sorry it took me a little bit longer. Scheduling was off. But the winner is this guy. All you have to do is hit us up on our either Instagram, Facebook, or just message us here on YouTube. Let us know that you won, and also provide your address so we can ship this guy out to you. Thank you for all those that participated. Do not worry, there are more giveaways to come probably next month. Yeah, if you guys have any theories on what exactly each one of these relics or each one of these people that Trazyn has in his galleries is for, comment down in the comment section below. I didn't know about the Primarch Fulgrim, or the clone of the Primarch Fulgrim, so that's kind of interesting. I'm going to look into that, maybe create a theory video. But thanks for listening, guys, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. This was Gershwin with OneMindSyndicate signing out.